Leading off for the Bisons in the top of the first, Michael Chrisman. He sees a breaking ball for a strike from Trevor Gracie. Gracie gets the start for Henderson State today. Gracie, a 5'10 sophomore out of Spring, Texas, transferred to Arkadelphia by way of Brookhaven College. 0-1. Swung on, hit right side. Colasanto, Henderson State's second baseman, charges, fields, and has a short throw to first to get Chrisman 4-3 for the first out of the top of the first. Beautiful day here at Clydeberry Field as Chrisman grounds out to lead things off for the Bisons. Connor Kelly digs in for Harding. Harding in all gray uniforms today, kind of looking like Vanderbilt out there. Those script text across the front as Kelly lofts this one to right field. Alec Lewis, the local product from Arkadelphia, underneath it to make a routine play. 3 pitches, 2 outs for Trevor Gracie, Henderson State starter here in the top of the first. Harding looking for a base runner. 2 outs, nobody on. 0-0 as David Butterfield digs in for the Bisons. Butterfield been one of the best hitters in the GAC so far this season, and Gracie comes straight to him. Fastball at the knee, strike 1. Butterfield batting third, playing third for Harding. 0-1, 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the first, scoreless ball game. 0-1 from Gracie. That's low, outside, picked by Henderson State's backstop this afternoon, Corbin Sestinas, the freshman out of Coral Springs, Florida. 1-1, Gracie to the plate. Breaking ball taken low. 2-1. Butterfield is third in the GAC in average, batting .443, as this is skewed off the end of the bat, out of play. 2-2. Butterfield leading Harding in average. Harding has 5 of the top 20 batting averages in the GAC. Butterfield, again, number 3 in conference play in average. 2-2 to Butterfield. Breaking ball, and Butterfield stays alive. Slow roller down the third base line. Still 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 0-0. Top of the first. Henderson State hosting the Harding Bisons. Another 2-2 from Gracie. Another breaking ball and another foul ball down the third base line. Butterfield and Gracie battling here. Butterfield again batting .443. That's third in the league. 31 hits. That leads the Bisons. 9 doubles. Slugging .714. On base percentage .519. All leading the team as Gracie misses high and outside, and the count runs full 3-2 here. Base is empty, top of the first, scoreless ball game. Gracie induces a lazy fly ball that drops just foul down the right field line. Couldn't have been more than a foot to the right of the chalk. And fortunate for the Reddies, Butterfield was ready to take extra bases there. He almost found their Bermuda Triangle out there in right field, but it lands harmlessly foul. Another 3-2 coming up from Henderson State's sophomore starter, Trevor Gracie. Breaking ball popped up on the infield. The first baseman, Stevens, ranges to his right and makes the play about halfway in between first and second base. So Gracie sets down Chrisman, Kelly, and Butterfield in the top of the first. Chrisman batting .373, Kelly batting .361, and Butterfield batting .443. Pretty impressive to retire those guys 3 up, 3 down, but Gracie does the job, and Henderson State will bat in the bottom of the first in a scoreless ball game. You're listening to Reddies Baseball. Welcome back to Clyde Berry Field. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Henderson State's starter Trevor Gracie retired the Harding Bisons 1-2-3 in the top half, and Henderson State bats in the bottom half. Scoreless ball game. Beautiful day here at Clyde Berry. 61 degrees at first pitch, not a cloud in sight as Danny Mitchell Jr. digs in to lead it off for the Reddies. He'll face Ross Shirey, who starts Mitchell Jr. with a fastball on the outside corner, and already hearing some complaints from Henderson State's faithful cheering section. Mitchell Jr. swings and fouls back the 0-1. 0-2 from Shirey, who starts on the Wednesday afternoon affair between the visiting Bisons and the home team, the Henderson State Reddies. Shirey ahead 0-2. Here it comes. Mitchell Jr. stays alive. Fouls it back. We'll do it again. Shirey making his 5th appearance. His 4th start. He's gone 7 total innings. Given up 4 runs, walked 4, struck out 8. Another 0-2. Backdoor breaking ball stays on the porch 1-2. Scoreless ball game, bottom of the first. Danny Mitchell Jr. leads off for the Reddies in the half inning. Bases empty, nobody out. Mitchell Jr. waits on the 1-2. Taken high and outside, fastball. Makes it 2-2. Mitchell Jr. batting leadoff for the 4th straight game for Henderson State after batting 3rd for the majority of the season so far. Mitchell Jr. rockets one foul, turned on it, and belted it down the right field line, but this was foul off the bat, and we'll do things again. Still 2-2 to Mitchell Jr. Wind blowing out to right field. Low 60s here at Clyde Berry. 2-2. Backdoor breaking ball through the middle. It lands in right center field. Mitchell Jr. did a great job of keeping his weight on the back foot and not getting out in front. He did just enough to get that over the head of the second baseman Vandover. And Mitchell Jr. has a leadoff single for Henderson State here in the bottom of the first. Reddies looking to open the scoring as Grayson Stevens digs in. Harding expecting Stevens to pull. The shortstop Kelly playing behind second base. Vandover shading over a little bit further to first than he normally would. First pitch to Stevens. Fastball, strike one, outer half. Mitchell Jr. on first. Nobody out. Bottom of inning number 1. 0-0 ball game. Harding went down in order in the top half. Reddies got their leadoff man, Mitchell Jr., on with a single to right center just moments ago. And a check on Mitchell Jr. from the pitcher Shirey. Mitchell Jr. slides back to first safely. Mitchell Jr. definitely a threat to steal. He's got 7 of Henderson State's 15 stolen bases in 2021. Mitchell Jr. healthy lead, takes off. Fastball misses outside, throw down, not in time. It scoots into shallow center. But Vandover, the second baseman, chases it down before Mitchell Jr. can locate the pearl and decide whether he wants to take off for third or not. So a stolen base for Mitchell Jr., his 8th of the season in 9 attempts. Again, the 0-1 missed outside, count 1-1. 1 on for the Reddies, nobody out. Mitchell Jr. on second, bottom of the first. Stevens takes a fastball high, 2-1 from Shirey. Henderson State trying to even the season series up with the visitors today, the Harding Bisons. Harding took 2 of 3 from Henderson State back on March 12th and 13th. 2-1. Hit hard, right side. A diving play made by Vandover. He gets to his feet. The throw to first is late. Stevens beats it out, infield single. Mitchell Jr. goes to third. Boy, what a play by Vandover to keep that on the infield. If that gets by Vandover into right, Mitchell Jr. scores. And this is a 1-0 game. Instead, Vandover makes the diving play. Stevens beats it out, but for now, still a 0-0 ball game as Joe Myers digs in, the reigning Great American Conference Player of the Week after going a combined 6 for 9 in the series sweep against Southwestern Oklahoma State last weekend as Myers checks his swing. Shiree's breaking ball. This is way outside, opposite batter's box. The Bison's backstop, Parrott, slides to his right and makes a good play to keep that in front. He keeps Mitchell Jr. on third and Stevens at first. Runners on the corners for the Reddies. 0-0 ball game, bottom of the first, nobody out. Check on Stevens at first. Good throw by the right-handed pitcher Shiree, but Stevens gets back safely. Harding expecting the pull from Myers. Second baseman Vandover playing behind second base, even shaded more to the third base bag as Shiree checks once more on Stevens at first. Stevens again slides back safely. So there is a lot of acreage on the right side of the infield. Joe Myers puts it anywhere to the opposite field on the ground. That's going to be a base hit, more than likely. 1-0 to Myers. Just cued off the end of the bat. 1-1. Myers moving up in the Henderson State record books. Last weekend, he went top 10 in RBI and doubles in Henderson State program history. Looking for more of the same as this is popped up. Right side of the infield. It's going to be into foul territory. The first baseman Heffley makes the play, and Myers pops out for the first out of the bottom of the first. Big out number one for Shiree as Myers misses an RBI opportunity, and that's one of the few times that Myers has missed out this season. Myers came into the game leading the league, 28 ribbies, but can't add to his total there. One out now for the Reddies, bottom of the first. Runners on the corners, still scoreless as Alec Lewis digs in, tries to change that. First pitch to Lewis, fastball outside, 1-0. Henderson State, as usual, majority lefty hitting lineup today. Lewis digs in, one of 6 lefties. Myers was a righty. He was the first one we saw. 1-0 to Lewis. High and outside, 2-0. Lewis trying to get out of a little slump. And it's really the first slump of his career, seeing as that Lewis batted .476, astronomical figure in his freshman season. That was cut short by COVID last year. Lewis, though, won for his last 17. 2-0. 2-1. Lewis swings through, dipping hitter's count at 2-0. Now 2-1. 2-1 the count. 2-1 for the Reddies. Here in the bottom of the first. One out. Mitchell Jr. on third. He singled. Stevens on first. He singled on the infield. 2-1 to Lewis. Outside. Hitter's count 3-1. Shiree trying to work out of trouble here in the bottom of the first. Lewis trying to get the Reddies on the board first. Here in a 0-0 ball game. 3-1. Lewis jammed and fouls it back out of play. Wind blowing out to right center field. Lewis, the lefty hitter. 3 home runs already this season. 9 for his career. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Lewis goes down with a lively full count fastball, and Henderson State on the verge of letting a big first inning opportunity slip through their hands. Caden Argenbright, another lefty hitter for the Reddies, digs in. Argenbright leads Henderson State. .342 average. Colasanto bats .390, but has not qualified for, say, the batting title. Colasanto only playing in 12 of Henderson State's 20 games as Argenbright takes fastball outside corner at the knee. Strike one from Shiree. Shiree allowed back-to-back singles but he's gotten back-to-back outs and kept Mitchell Jr. on third and Stevens on first. 0-1 to Argenbright. Backdoor breaking ball. Just misses outside. 1-1. 1-1 the count. 2 out here, bottom of the first. Runners on the corners for the Reddies. Henderson State trying to get on the board first with their freshman, Caden Argenbright, at the plate. 1-1. Fouled straight back. Argenbright just misses, and now Shirey 1 strike away from working into and out of a jam here in the bottom of the first. Argenbright 3 for 8 last weekend in the series sweep of Southwestern Oklahoma State, but he had his 8-game hitting streak snapped in the final game of the series, went 0 for 3 with a run after being hit by a pitch. So Argenbright looking to restart a little hitting streak here and drive home the game's first run. 1-2. Argenbright reaches out. This will tail foul out of play over the Henderson State dugout down the third base line. We'll do it at the 1-2 again. Argenbright, 6-foot freshman out of Sulphur Springs, Texas. Leads the Reddies 342 average, 8 doubles, also second on the team with 26 hits, and a 398 on-base percentage. 1-2. Hit hard and through the middle of the infield. Mitchell Jr. trots home to score. Stevens, running on contact, will stroll into third, and Henderson State has a 2-out RBI single from Caden Argenbright. Great piece of 2-out, 2-strike hitting from the freshman, who has looked beyond his years from the moment he has stepped on to Henderson State's campus, as Argenbright gives the Reddies a 1-0 lead here on 3 singles in the bottom of the first. So it'll go freshman to freshman as Argenbright stands on first and makes way in the batter's box for Corbin Sestinas, a freshman out of Coral Springs, Florida. Sestinas bats, runners on the corners, takes a breaking ball, strike 1, outside corner at the knees. Nice pitch from Shirey, Harding's starter in the Wednesday midweek contest. 2 out, 2 on. Runners on the corners for the Reddies. Stevens on first. Stevens on third. Argenbright on first. 0-1. Hit hard, and again, another single for the Reddies. This is through the left side. 4 singles for Henderson State in the bottom of the first, and they double their lead. Sestinas has his 6th RBI of the season. He brings home Stevens from third. Argenbright moves to second. So 2 singles, then 2 outs, and now 2 more singles for the Reddies, who have now sent 7 guys to the plate in the bottom of the first as Matthew Baker bats for HSU with, again, 2 on and 2 out. Fastball taken outside corner. Strike 1 from Shirey. Baker, primarily a pitcher for Henderson State here in 2021, but is capable with the bat, batting .304, 7 hits and 23 ABs. 0-1. This will get out of play. 0-2. 0-2 the count. 2-0 the score. Henderson State in front, bottom of the first. Argenbright on second. Sestinas on first. Henderson State 4 singles in the inning, on their way to a 2-0 lead over their longtime conference rivals, the Harding Bisons. 0-2. This is outside, high, easy take for Baker. Count goes to 1-2. Baker was sensational on the mound last weekend. Got the win, improves to 2-0. Went 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 8 Ks. 1-2. Baker reaches out, swinging bunt. The pitcher Shirey stumbles out of the block, but regathers, fields, and fires to first for the 3rd out of the inning. Henderson State gets a pair in the bottom of the first. We'll go to the second when we come back on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field here on the campus of Henderson State University. The Reddies lead 2-0 after 4 singles in the bottom of the first. We go to the top of the second. Trevor Gracie, Henderson State's left-hander, comes to Harrison Heffley, who takes a breaking ball for a strike at the knees. Gracie retired Crispin, Kelly, and Butterfield. Harding's 1, 2, 3. In order in the top of the first, he'll face 4, 5, and 6. Heffley, Van Dover, and Smith, as Heffley hits it hard, but right at the right fielder, Alec Lewis, who makes the play for the first out of the top of the second. 2-0 ball game. Reddies in front as Luke Vandover takes his turn. Vandover splits the order. Vandover trying to get going this season, batting .219. But Vandover led the Bisons in batting average last season, so this guy can hit. Just a matter of time till he gets it going as Vandover takes a breaking ball at the knees, strike 1. Gracie has done a great job early of pounding the strike zone. First pitch strikes to the first 5 hitters he has seen. 0-1 to Vandover. That's high. And taken for a ball, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Nobody on the base paths for Harding in the top of the second. They trail 2-0. Breaking ball catches the outside edge. Nice pitch from Gracie, the sophomore, who has looked very sharp early on here on the Wednesday afternoon affair. 1-2. Breaking ball dips inside and fouled off down the third baseline by Vandover. Count goes to, or stays at 1-2, excuse me. Here it comes from Gracie, looking for his first K. Again, fastball helmet high. Taken for ball 2 from Vandover. Gracie, again a 5'10 sophomore out of Spring, Texas. 2-2, hit hard at the third baseman Argenbright. He backhands, but it gets away, and that'll be an error on the usually sure-handed third baseman, Argenbright. Argenbright went down to a knee and was ready to backhand. That's a play Argenbright usually makes, but instead it's an error, and Vandover stands on first as the Bison's first base runner here with 1 out in the top of the second. Gracie gets another first pitch strike. Fastball at the knees to Cody Smith. 0-1. 1 on, 1 out for Harding in the top of the second. Reddies in front 2-0. That's in the dirt. Butterfly block from the catcher, Sestinas. Gracie making his 6th appearance for HSU this season. 3rd start. 1-1. The lefty Gracie steps off. Vandover takes his lead off first. Vandover 2 steals in 3 attempts this season. Harding likes to run. Harding has stolen 26 bases as a team here in 2021. In the Bison's 20 games, so about a 1.5 stolen bases. 18 games for Harding, so still about 1.5 stolen bases per game for the Bisons here in 2021. As Gracie gets a strike called, 1-2. Check on Vandover at first. Vandover gets back safely. Again, 1 on, 1 out for Harding in the top of the second. Reddies up 2-0 after 4 singles for Henderson State in the bottom of the first. Gracie looking for his first strikeout of the day. Won't get it as Sestinas again butterfly blocks the breaking ball in the turf. Count goes to 2-2 to Cody Smith, who bats 6th and plays center for the Bisons. 2-2. Strike 3 called. Gracie goes back to the fastball and paints the outside edge. Gracie's first K of the day, second out here in the top of the second. Chris Witzke digs in. One of three lefties here in the Harding order today. Vandover takes off to second. Throw down from Sestinas. Not in time. Myers puts the tag on the left calf of the sliding Vandover, trying to get the call in case Vandover slid past and off the bag, but Vandover safe at second, and Harding has their first base runner in scoring position. 1-0 count to Witzke. 2 outs, 2-0 ball game. Reddies in front in the top of the second. Gracie misses outside with the fastball 2-0. Gracie trying to get through the first 2 innings without giving up a hit. Vandover reached by an error. Outside breaking ball dips at the shoelaces of Witzke, and that's taken for a ball. 3-0 count. First base vacant after Vandover stole second. 2 outs here in the top of the second. Again, Henderson stayed up 2-0. They got RBIs from Argenbright and Sestinas in the first. 3-0. Outside, 4-pitch walk issued by Gracie. 1 walk and 1 K for the sophomore lefty starter here in the top of the second. The force is back on at third, second, and obviously first as Zach Whitus digs in. Whitus making his first start of the season. Small sample size, but has been an excellent hitter so far this season. 3 for 8 at the dish. First pitch to Whitus. Misses inside. 1-0. .30 pitches from Gracie, 18 balls. Before that, it was 25 pitches and 30 pitches and 18 strikes. As Gracie's thrown 5 straight balls. This is a slow roll to Colasanto. The second baseman charges, makes a long run, but makes the play. He retires Whitus by a step, and Gracie gets in and out of trouble in the top of the second. Bisons get 2 base runners by way of an error and a walk, but leave them stranded. Henderson State will go to the second, up 2-0 on the Reddies Baseball Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. We go to the bottom of the second. You're listening to Reddies Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network. Reddies up 2-0 as Daniel Colasanto digs in and leads off for HSU here in bottom 2. The Reddies got 2 runs on 4 singles in the bottom of the first as Daniel Colasanto looks to get the party restarted for HSU. Fastball taken for a strike. Harding's starter, Ross Shirey, remains on the bump for the Bisons. 0-1 to Colasanto. Swung on. Looping liner drops in front of a charging left fielder, Chrisman. And Daniel Colasanto remains scorching hot at the dish. Colasanto 14 for 30 in his last 10 games, make him 15 for 31, as that average now at .405 for Colasanto. Colasanto opposite field single, and the Reddies have a leadoff base runner on the board in back-to-back innings now. Danny Mitchell Jr. singled to start the bottom of the first as Colasanto leads off first. Bryson Haskins digs in, and the bunt attempt is unsuccessful as Haskins misses. Throw down to first as Colasanto took a healthy secondary lead, not in time. Colasanto slides back safely. Haskins, one of Henderson State's best bunters. Not just sacrificing, he bunts for hits. Seems like at least once a series. 0-1 to Haskins. Squares to bunt again. Gets it back, straight back to the pitcher, Shirey. Shirey gathers and throws to first to get Haskins as Colasanto moves to second. So Haskins does the job and moves Henderson State's second baseman Colasanto into scoring possession as the Henderson State lineup resets with Danny Mitchell Jr. Reddies up 2-0, bottom of the second. Mitchell Jr. digs in for the second time, singled into right center field, and scored in the first after a 1-2 single from Caden Argenbright brought him home. Mitchell Jr. was one of two Henderson State runs in the bottom of the first as Mitchell Jr. fouls back the first pitch out of play, 0-1. Colasanto leads off second. 0-1 count, 1 out, 1 on here for the Reddies in the bottom of inning number 2. Mitchell Jr., a lefty leadoff hitter, resets the Henderson State order as Shirey misses with the backdoor breaking ball just outside. Mitchell Jr. again spent most of the first half of the season in the third or the fourth spot for the Reddies, but since he's been moved to the leadoff spot, he's been much better with the bat. 1 for 1 already today as he waves and misses at a high breaking ball. Count goes to 1-2. That was vicious from Shirey. Mitchell Jr. batting .235 coming into the ball game, but was a little bit better than that with the bat as the average bumped up last weekend against Southwestern Oklahoma State. 1-2. Swing and a miss, foul tipped into the glove of the catcher Parrott, and Shirey has his second strikeout of the afternoon. So Grayson Stevens will try to give the Reddies a 2-out RBI as the first baseman digs in for Henderson State, who leads 2-0 in the bottom of the second. Again, Harding expecting the pull from Stevens. Shortstop Kelly playing to the first base side of second base just by a hair. The second baseman Vandover playing in shallow right field. First pitch strikes, 0-1 to Stevens. Sent out to shallow center field. Smith jogs in and makes the play for the third out of the inning. So the Reddies strand the leadoff hitter Colasanto on second after his single to left. We'll go to the third, 2-0 Reddies in front on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field here on the campus of Henderson State University. Beautiful spring day here in Arkadelphia. Temperatures in the low 60s. Blue skies in every direction. Not a cloud in sight as Trevor Gracie, Henderson State's starter, remains on the rubber for his third inning of work. Top of the third. Reddies up 2-0. Brendan Parrott digs in and leads off for the Harding Bisons. Parrott, first pitch swinging, and this will go for extra bases, hammered down the left field line into the corner. Mitchell Jr., the left fielder, back there to fish it out. And Parrott stands on second with a leadoff double here in the top of the third, and that energizes the Harding lineup as Parrott acts as the secondary leadoff man in the 9-hole. So Parrott stands on second as the order resets. Crispin, Harding's leadoff man and left fielder, digs in. That was Harding's first hit of the day here in the top of the third with nobody out as Crispin takes a breaking ball at the shins inside. 1-0. Henderson State leads 2-0, top of the third. Parrott leads off second for the Bisons. Nobody out here. Reddies expecting the pull from Crispin. 1-0. Chopped foul into the Harding dugout. The Reddies shortstop Joe Myers has the duty of covering Parrott at second base to make sure Parrott's lead isn't too lengthy. 1-1 to Crispin. Outside. 1-2. Gracie has worked 2+ innings now for the Reddies. One hit, which was the leadoff double in the inning to Parrott. 1 walk, 1 K. No runs allowed as the Reddies are up 2-0. 2-1. Breaking ball hammered right center field. This is going to be trouble. It caroms off the wall. 1 run will score, and Crispin will head to third. The throw not in time as Myers relayed to the third baseman Argenbright, and Harding's got back-to-back extra base hits to start the third. Henderson State's lead cut in half. It's a 2-1 ball game. So Gracie worked the first 2 innings without giving up a hit. Double and a triple for the Bisons to start the third as Connor Kelly digs in. Still nobody out here as Crispin leads off third base, obviously taking his lead in foul territory. First pitch to Kelly, foul ball, just left of the third base bag. Kelly flew out to right field back in the first on the first pitch he saw. So Kelly first pitch swinging and his first 2 trips to the dish. 0-1, swings again, foul ball. 0-2. Kelly came into the game batting .361. It's since dipped to .356. Kelly better with runners in scoring position, a clean .400 with runners on second or third. 0-2. Breaking ball. To return to sender. That lands in front of the center fielder Haskins. And we have a tie ball game, 2-2, as Kelly takes the 0-2 and sends it to center for an RBI single. So Harding with a home run here would produce the team triple in 4 straight at-bats. They've gone double, triple, single to lead off the top of the third as David Butterfield digs in. Butterfield takes a breaking ball low. Ball 1. Butterfield popped up to the first baseman Stevens for the third out in the top of the first. We got a tie ball game now in the top of the third, 2-2. 1-0 from Gracie. Gracie gets the fastball called for a strike, 1-1. Henderson State has some action in the bullpen. Looks like the freshman Ethan Perry warming up out there down the left field line, as Gracie's gotten himself into some trouble here in the top of the third. 1-1. Breaking ball taken low. 2-1 to Butterfield. Butterfield again entered the Wednesday affair. Third in the conference in average. Second in doubles. Sixth in slugging. 2-1. Another base hit for Harding. This is going to get to the gap. Haskins, the center fielder, chases it down in left center field. As Kelly moves to third, Butterfield stands on second with a double. And Harding taking a little batting practice right now on the top of the third. Double, triple, single, double for the Bisons here in a 2-2 ball game, as Harrison Heffley looks to change that. With runners on second and third, still nobody out for the Bisons, who bat with the lefty Harrison Heffley. Heffley takes breaking ball inside, 1-0. Heffley stroked the first pitch he saw back in the second to right field. Alec Lewis made the play, but Heffley barreled it up. Looking for some green grass here, 1-0. Heffley thought about it, but kept the bat back, 2-0. As Gracie missed outside. Gracie got through the first and the second without giving up a hit. Giving up 4 straight hits to Harding to start the third, as the Bisons have tied it up 2-all. Reddies got their 2 in the bottom of the first after 4 singles. Harding's got 4 hits here in the top of the third, 3 of them for extra bases. Hitters count 2-0 to Heffley. Sent out to center. Haskins backs up, and both runners tag. Kelly comes home from third. Butterfield moves to third from second, as Heffley has an RBI. He drives home a run to send the Bisons into the lead, 3-2. Henderson State takes the first out of the inning. Is off the bat. That looked like a pretty routine play to center. Haskins didn't look like he was going to have to move, but that ball drifted all the way back to the warning track, taken by the wind out there in center. As the first pitch to Luke Vandovers popped up on the infield. Grayson Stevens makes the play at first. And Gracie gets a big second out. Vandover unable to bring home Butterfield from third. And now 2 outs for the Bisons in the top of the third. Harding up 3-2. Butterfield on third. First pitch coming to Harding's right-handed hitter Cody Smith. Smith takes a breaking ball at the ankles, 1-0. So Gracie allowed 4 straight hits to begin the inning. That tied it at 2. Back-to-back outs. One of them, though, a sacrifice fly brought home the go-ahead run. Smith fouls off the 1-0, now 1-1. Gracie's worked 2 2/3 so far. His longest outing this year in 5 appearances has been 3 innings, so this could be Gracie's last batter if he can get out of this inning, with Ethan Perry warming up in the bullpen. Midweek game usually see more pitchers than usual, as Gracie misses high to Smith, count 2-1. Butterfield leads off third, 2 outs, top of the third. Popped up and out of play, 2-2. Smith, the only strikeout victim for Gracie so far, struck out looking. Back in the second. Bats here in the top of the third, trying to bring home a 2-out RBI with Butterfield on third. 2-2. Check swing as the breaking ball dipped to the shins. Good take by Smith. Good spot to miss if you're Trevor Gracie. Payoff pitch coming up. 3-2 from Gracie. Smith walks. Good at bat from the center fielder Smith. And the Bisons have runners on the corners with 2 outs in the top of the third. Henderson State trying to limit the damage. Trying to keep this a 1-run game. 3-2. Harding leads top of the third as we will have a mound visit. Cody Hooten, Henderson State's head coach, will stroll to the bump, and we will see if Trevor Gracie will face Chris Witzke or his day is done when we come back on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Cladberry Field here at Henderson State University. Trevor Gracie will remain on the hill after the mound visit from Cody Hooten. First pitch coming to Harding's lefty hitter and right fielder Chris Witzke. Witzke takes outside 1-0. Runners on the corners for the Bison's top of the third. Already a trio of runs in the frame for Harding. They lead 3-2. Gracie doesn't get the call with the fastball, just below the knees. Henderson State got a pair of runs in the bottom of the first. Harding has 3 so far in the top of the third, looking for more as Butterfield leads off third and Smith leads off first. Gracie trying to get out of it. 2-0, now 3-0. Gracie misses high and outside to Witzke, who walked in the second. Gracie has allowed 4 hits in his start today. All of them have come in the inning. 3-0. Strike called as Gracie gets in the strike column here. Still a hitter's count for Witzke. 3-1 from the lefty Gracie. Strike at the belt. Witzke turned and was ready to throw the bat and head down to first for a 5-pitch walk, but he'll dig back in. Payoff pitch upcoming. 3-2, 2 outs. Runners will be taken off. 3-2. High. Gracie misses upstairs, and Harding has loaded the bases after back-to-back walks on payoff pitches. Smith walks on a 3-2, Witzke walks on a 3-2, and the bases are loaded for Zach Whitus, who is the only guy not to bat this inning for the Bisons, and Henderson State will have another mound visit, which means Trevor Gracie's short start is spoken for. He will exit after 2 2/3 innings of work. Henderson State goes to the bullpen in the top of the third, down 3-2, and the bases loaded. We'll be back after a quick break on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. New pitcher for Henderson State as Trevor Gracie's start is complete. He lasted 2 2/3 innings, replaced by the freshman Ethan Perry out of McKinney, Texas. Perry will climb the bump with 3 base runners to deal with. They are loaded here in the top of the third as Zach Whitus digs in for Harding. Bison's up 3-2. Perry enters. We'll try to keep it a 1-run game. First pitch from Perry. Fastball, that was off speed. Right at the knees. Nice pitch from Perry, who was excellent over the weekend. Worked 2 innings, gave up 1 hit, struck out 3 in a 14-4 win over Southwestern Oklahoma State. 0-1 to Whitus. Swing and a miss. Perry gets him to chase outside. Perry ahead 0-2. Perry, no stranger to entering in big situations with base runners aboard. Butterfield on third, Smith on second, Witzke on first. Harding already 4 hits and 3 runs in the inning. Perry looking to shut the door. 0-2. Breaking ball just off the hands of Whitus, who stays alive. And we'll do another 0-2. Gracie again, the Henderson State starter, lasted 2 2/3 innings. Didn't allow a hit until the top of the third, but things unraveled for Gracie. Harding, 4 straight hits to start the inning. They've brought home 3 so far. Bases loaded as Perry tries to end things on an 0-2 to Whitus. Hit hard right at the second baseman, Colasanto. He crouches, collects, and fires to first for a simple 4-3. So Perry comes in and wipes him clean. Harding strands 3, but they also score 3. The Bisons lead 3-2. We'll go to the bottom of the third on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field here on the campus of Henderson State University. The Reddies trail 3-2 as Joe Myers leads off the bottom of the third. Myers trying to atone for his first inning foul out with runners on the corners and nobody out, as Myers is plunked on an inside breaking ball. Very first pitch of the inning. Myers strolls to first painlessly. Just got Myers by a thread on the pants, and Myers becomes the 3rd straight leadoff base runner here for the Reddies, as they've have their leadoff hitter reach safely in first, second, and now the 3rd inning. Also the 41st time Myers has been hit in his career. Myers leads off first. Alec Lewis, a lefty freshman, digs in and hammers this through the right side of the infield. Myers pauses and lets the ball roll by him. Obviously, if that hits Myers, he is out. So Myers shows off the dance moves to avoid the pearl. And Alec Lewis, first pitch single. Henderson State has two base runners aboard in the bottom of the third with nobody out as Caden Argenbright digs in. We'll see if the Reddies put the sack bunt on to move Myers to third and Lewis to second, but I don't know if you want to bunt Argenbright. Guy who's batting .351 this season and has already driven home an RBI today. Argenbright swings away, hit hard. It bounces in front of the right fielder Witzke. Witzke gets the throw back of the infield, and he threw it straight to second base. If that was on line to the covering shortstop Kelly, Lewis may have been out because Lewis had to pause and make sure that ball was caught, as Henderson State has loaded the bases in the blink of an eye here in the bottom of the third. Reddies trail 3-2. Reddies got a pair in the bottom of the first. Harding got all three of their runs in the top half of this inning. Myers on third. Lewis on second. Argenbright on first. Corbin Sestinas digs in, and a fortunate break for Harding as the first pitch to Sestinas looked like it was getting ready to carry him away from the catcher Parrott. I believe that took a deflection off the foot of the home plate umpire to keep that ball in front. Joe Myers at third was ready to come home on what would have been a wild pitch, but instead just a ball. Count goes 1-0. Reddies have the bases loaded, down by one. Here in the bottom of the third, Corbin Sestinas looking for more RBIs as he pops this one up out of play, and it'll get over the right side of the concrete wall down the right field line. The first baseman Heffley and the right fielder Witzke both ran a country mile to take a look, but did not have a play as that went on the wrong side of the fence. 1 ball, 1 strike. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the third. Reddies have gone hit by pitch, single, single to start the frame. Sestinas, the freshman out of Florida, upright stance, righty hitter, waits on the 1-1, swings and misses. Hefty hack from Sestinas, comes up empty. Sestinas 1 for 1, brought home a run in the bottom of the first. Single through the left side, brought home Stevens. 1-2 to Sestinas. That's outside, gets away from the catcher Parrott. Joe Myers will come home to score from third. Everybody moves up. Lewis to third, Argenbright to second on the wild pitch from Shiree. Henderson State has tied this ball game 3-3 here, bottom of the third, and now Sestinas can give the Reddies the lead if he can put this in play. Looking to lift this to the outfield or put it on the ground somewhere on the infield. Sends it right side, and the Reddies will take the lead. Good piece of hitting by Sestinas. Fights off the 2-2, brings home Lewis as the second baseman Vandover makes the routine play to retire Sestinas at first, but the base runners move up 90 feet. Lewis scores, Argenbright goes to third, and the Reddies right back in front, 4-3 in the bottom of the third. Reddies now a pair in the first, a pair in the third, as Matthew Baker looks to keep the line moving for Henderson State, who's got 1 out and 1 on. Argenbright on third, 1 out as Baker bats. Baker swings and misses at a lively fastball from Shiree. Baker 0 for 1, grounded back to the pitcher. He was the final out of the bottom of the first, as Henderson State sent 7 batters to the dish in the opening inning. Shiree gets the fastball for a strike outside corner as Baker checked his swing. 0-2, Baker trying to put in play and bring home Argenbright from third. High and outside. Parrott leaps out of his catcher's crouch to avoid the second wild pitch of the inning. Reddies up 4-3. 2 runs across so far in the bottom of the third. Argenbright on third, 1-2 to Baker. Baker hits it hard to left field. Backing up is Chrisman. He makes a running catch in front of the 365 sign, and that is well and deep enough to score Argenbright, who tags and comes home from third. So Baker, a nice piece with a 1-2 count against him. Henderson State has their third run of the inning, and the bases are cleared as the Bisons have collected the second out of the inning. Daniel Colasanto digs in. Colasanto already 1 for 1, singled to lead off the bottom of the second, but was stranded at second. Colasanto takes fastball low and outside. So Harding got 3 in the top half. Henderson State answering with 3 of their own in the bottom half. Reddies up 5-3. 1-0 pitch coming to Colasanto. Strike 1. Relatively quick inning for the Reddies to score 3 runs. As Colasanto hits it hard, but this will tail foul down the left field line. The Reddies aggressive at the plate this inning. Henderson State loaded the bases, hit by pitch, single. Got to run on a wild pitch, got to run on a RBI ground out, got to run on a sac fly from Baker as Colasanto swings and misses. The 1-2 in the dirt. It's picked up by Parrott and thrown to first. Colasanto beat out by the strong throw, and the inning is over. But the Reddies get 3, and we'll go to the fourth. Henderson State 5, Harding 3. You're listening to Reddies Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Arkadelphia. Welcome back to the campus of Henderson State University. Welcome back to Clyde Berry Field. Beautiful afternoon turning into a gorgeous evening here at Clyde Berry as the Reddies welcome in the Harding Bisons for a Wednesday midweek affair. We go to the top of the fourth. Reddies up 5-3. Henderson State got 2 in the bottom of the first. Harding got 3 in the top of the third. Reddies answered with their own trio in the bottom half of inning number 3. Harding leads off the fourth with Brendan Parrott. Parrott hitting 9th, so it'll be 9-1-2 for the Bisons here in the top of the fourth as Parrott gives it about a 3/4 swing. Tried to check it, but off the hands and foul down the first base line. Opposite direction for the right-handed catcher, Parrott. Perry misses outside, 1-1. Parrott got things started for Harding in the top of the third. First pitch double for Parrott was one of 4 hits in a row, the first of 4 hits in a row for the Bisons in that inning. as Parrott takes a breaking ball for a strike. Trevor Gracie, who allowed those 4 hits, was replaced by Ethan Perry, who pitches now for the Reddies. Perry entered with the bases loaded, but got out of it. The 4-3 ground ball off the bat of Zach Whitus. 1-2. Perry just missed inside. 2-2. 2-2 the count. Nobody out, nobody on, as Brendan Parrott leads off the top of the 4th for the Harding Bisons. Reddies in front, 5-3. Long look in from the right-handed freshman Perry, and a little bit too long as Parrott asks for time and gets it. Parrott came into this game batting .217. 1 for 1 with a double and a run so far. 2-2 from Perry. Strike 3 called. Perry reaches back for a little extra and starts the inning with a backwards K as Parrott goes down staring. Harding's order resets for the second time. Michael Chrisman digs in. His 3rd trip to the dish. First pitch from Perry. Checked on, but Chrisman keeps the bat back 1-0. 5-3 ball game, top of the 4th. 1 out, nobody on for the Bisons as Chrisman tries to get things started. Chopper right side, and it just veers foul to the wrong side of the first base chalk if you're a Henderson State fan. That's to the correct side of the first base chalk if you're a Harding fan. Foul ball from Chrisman, who's 1 for 2. His RBI triple in the top of the 3rd brought home the Bison's first run after Parrott doubled. 1-1 from Perry. Just missed outside. 2-1. Perry looking to put together back-to-back really solid outings. He was great last weekend. Perry went 2 innings, gave up 1 hit, struck out 3. And Henderson State's 14-4 victory over Southwestern Oklahoma State in the first game of the 3-game set that the Reddies wound up sweeping. Perry gets the call on the 2-1 there. 2-2 now. Perry looking for back-to-back Ks. 2-2 out of play. Shouts of heads up from the Henderson State audience. Spectators starting to file in after the workday is done here in Arkadelphia. 2-2. Chrisman batting, Perry pitching. Nobody on base for Harding, 1 out. Lofted to the left side of the infield. Henderson State's infielders Myers and Argenbright argue over it, but Myers, the shortstop, makes the play after battling a little bit of sun over there. So Perry wins the long battle and retires Chrisman P6. Perry has entered from the bullpen and has been excellent. Perry, 1 full inning now. Got the last out in the top of the 3rd. He's gotten the first 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. No hits, no walks. He struck out 1 as Connor Kelly, Harding's shortstop, digs in and takes a fastball outside corner, strike 1. Reddy's got a pair in the bottom of the 1st. Each team scored 3 runs in the 3rd. Henderson State leads 5-3 here on a beautiful Wednesday evening. 0-1 to Kelly, wave and a miss. Kelly off kilter. Perry way ahead, 0-2. Perry, the freshman, in a rhythm. Right back on the rubber. Shakes off his freshman catcher, Sestinas, as Kelly calls for time. So you're seeing a little bit of the future of Henderson State baseball right now. Freshman pitcher Perry throws to freshman catcher Sestinas. 0-2. 1-2. Kelly spits on the fastball, but catches a little turf. Kelly 1 for 2. Fu out to right in the first. Had an RBI single in the third, later scored. 1-2 from Perry. Sent to the shortstop Myers. He charges. Makes a strong throw. Myers ends the inning. Perry sets the Bisons down in order. 1, 2, 3. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth. Henderson State up 5-3 on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Arkadelphia. Henderson State leads off the bottom of the fourth with Bryson Haskins. Haskins bats ninth for HSU, so it'll be 9-1-2 for the Reddies as Harding throws out a new pitcher to the hill. Brent Sutherland takes the place of the starter Ross Shirey. Sutherland starts Haskins with a ball, 1-0. Haskins has not logged in that bat today. Sacrifice bunt. In the second, move Colasanto to second as Colasanto hits a 1-0 hard to left center field and gone. Bryson Haskins makes it a 6-3 game. Haskins with his third home run of the season. His fifth homer of his career. And the Reddies lead 6-3. Haskins now 2 home runs in his last 3 games. They've both been leadoff home runs. Haskins went yard in Game 2 of last Friday's doubleheader against Southwestern Oklahoma State as Danny Mitchell Jr. digs in and pulls the bunt back, 1-0. That home run was worth its weight in gold. It made it a 2-1 ball game. The Reddies ended up winning the game 2-1, so that was the game-winning hit as Mitchell Jr. takes another ball, 2-0. So Haskins makes it a 6-3 game. Reddies lead, bottom of the fourth. Haskins, the leadoff dinger, as Mitchell Jr. waits on the 2-0 and hammers it deep to right field. This will be trouble, and this is gone!
That's a home run for Danny Mitchell Jr.
Back-to-back jacks for Henderson State. Haskins sends it out of here to left center. Mitchell Jr. pulverizes the 2-0. That got out of Clyde Berry Ballpark in the blink of an eye. I didn't know if that was going to get out because it was such a line drive frozen rope. I don't know if that ball got 20 feet in the air, but that ball was absolutely blistered off the barrel of Mitchell Jr. And for the first time this season, the Reddies have gone back-to-back, and they lead 7-3 in the bottom of the fourth. Henderson State picking up right where they left off. Last weekend they beat SWOSU in all 3 games. The Reddies outscored the Bulldogs by a combined 21 runs to 6. And the Bats have stayed wide awake here on Wednesday as Grayson Stevens digs in and takes a ball 1-0. Now 1-1. Harding's reliever Brent Sutherland has come into this ball game, faced 2 hitters, given up 2 home runs. 1-1 to Stevens. 2-1. Sutherland making his 7th appearance of the season. He's gone 7 1/3 innings as Stevens hits it very hard right at the first baseman Heffley, and that squirts away from the first baseman. That's going to be ruled an error on Heffley. Hit really hard, but right at Heffley, and they just got away from him. Stevens reaches. The second baseman, Vandover, gathered it up in shallow right field, but had no play at first as the pitcher Sutherland couldn't get over to cover in time. So Stevens reaches on the error. Joe Myers bats for the Reddies, who lead 7-3, bottom of the 4th. Myers takes inside, 1-0. You could build a house between first and second base. There's nobody there. Second baseman Vandover playing behind the second base bag. If Myers puts it on the ground in the opposite direction, going to be almost impossible for Harding to make a play on it, as the pitcher Sutherland checks on Stevens at first. Harding obviously concerned with Stevens over at first base. Stevens has been checked on 4 or 5 times throughout the game when he's led off first. 1-0 to Myers. Through the left side, a bounding ball bounces over the glove of the diving third baseman Butterfield. And the first 4 batters in the bottom of the 4th have reached for the Reddies. Joe Myers has his first hit of the day after striking out and being hit by a pitch.
Batting right fielder number 19, Alec Lewis.
2 on for the Reddies. Still nobody out, bottom of the 4th. The Reddies have gone solo homer, back-to-back jacks. Then Stevens reached on an error. Joe Myers just singled through the left side as Alec Lewis tries to build on his single back in the 3rd inning. Reddies up 7-3. First pitch to Lewis. Chopped right side. The first baseman, Heffley, gathers it up, throws to second, and throws it low through the legs of the covering shortstop Kelly. That's going to run into left field. That is the 2nd error on Heffley in the inning. Stevens never stopped running. He advanced to 3rd, and when he saw the ball go into left, he took off for home and scores without a play. Henderson stayed up 5 runs, 8-3 in the bottom of the 4th. So things have unraveled a little bit for Harding in the bottom half of the 4th. Reddies homer, error, single error. Caden Argenbright takes an outside fastball, 1-0. Runners on first and second for the Reddies. Still nobody out. Bottom of the 4th. Reddies up 8-3. Caden Argenbright again takes fastball outside, 2-0. Argenbright 2 for 2 today. Argenbright obviously upset he had his 8-game hitting streak snapped in the series finale last Saturday, so he's making up for lost time. 2-0. 3-0. Same spot, same result. Fastball outside, taken for a ball. Argenbright, RBI single in the 1st, singled and scored in the 3rd. Myers on 2nd, Lewis on 1st. Argenbright reaches with a 4-pitch walk. Bases loaded for the Reddies in the bottom of the 4th. Still nobody out.
Batting the catcher number 28, Corbin Cecina.
All 6 Reddies who have come to the dish in the inning have reached. 2 homers, 2 errors, a walk, and a single. Corbin Sestinas bats. Bases loaded. Reddies up 8-3, bottom of the fourth. Myers on third, Lewis on second, Argenbright on first after the fourth pitch walk. Sestinas. Breaking ball. Taken strike one. That may have been the best pitch thrown by Sutherland so far in his outing. Sutherland still has not recorded an out. He's given up 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 1 walk, no Ks. Sestinas, the freshman out of Coral Springs, calls for time, resets. Sestinas did not play as a freshman last year, got his chance this season in the midweek game against Ouachita Baptist and took advantage, going 2 for 4 with a double. 1-0. Inside, Sestinas shuffles out of the way. Sestinas bats with the bases loaded. Takes an inside fastball for a strike. Myers again on third. Lewis on second. Argenbright on first. Sestinas trying to keep the line moving for the Reddies. Hit right at the first baseman. Heffley, he makes the play, steps on first, double play. Argenbright got too far off the bag on the secondary lead, and that's just unlucky. Nothing Argenbright could do. And unfortunate for Sestinas, who barreled it up opposite field, but Heffley makes a great play to snag it and step on first. So 2 outs for the Reddies in the bottom of the fourth now. The threat still remains. Runners on second and third as Matthew Baker bats. First pitch to Baker, taken right down Broadway. Strike one off the bat. The first thought in my mind was we could have a triple play. Bases loaded, ball hit that hard, but Harding only able to get 2. 0-1 to Baker. Outside, 1-1. Baker 0 for 1 with an RBI back in the third. Flew out to left on a 1-2 count. It was a good piece of hitting by Baker to hit defensively and bring home a run. Breaking ball stays outside, 2-1. Henderson stayed up 8-3, bottom of the fourth. Reddy's got 2 in the first, 3 in the third, 3 so far here in the fourth. Harding got all 3 of their runs in the top of the third. 2-1, 3-1. First base is vacant. Runners on second and third, 2 outs for the Reddies. Myers on third, Lewis on second. Reddies have scored 3 runs so far this inning, 2 of them solo home runs. Haskins and Mitchell Jr. went back-to-back. 3-1. 5-pitch walk. Baker takes at the shins and heads to first, occupying the momentarily vacant first base. Daniel Colasanto, Henderson State's third leading RBI man, digs in, bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the fourth. Colasanto, 15 RBI so far this season, despite starting in just 12 of Henderson State's first 20 games. Colasanto looking for more. First pitch to Colasanto, hit right side, going to be a tough play for the second baseman. Vandover, he sprints to his left, gathers it up, and throws to first to the covering Heffley. Colasanto goes down 4-3, and Harding gets out of the inning. The Reddies put 3 more on the board. We'll go to the 5th. HSU 3. Henderson State 8, Harding 3 on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field here on the campus of Henderson State University. We go to the top of inning number 5. Henderson State leads by 5, 8-3 after 3 runs in the bottom of the 4th. Henderson State goes to the bullpen once more. Lane Neely on the bump for HSU. Starts Harding's David Butterfield with a breaking ball for a strike. Neely making his first appearance for Henderson State. And looks good through 2 pitches so far. 2 breaking balls and 2 strikes. Way in front of Butterfield, who leads off the top of the 5th for the Bisons. 0-2. Just getting a piece is Butterfield to stay alive. So what an introduction to a GAC opponent for Lane Neely. First time on the hill for the Reddies, and he gets to face David Butterfield, who enters the game batting .443. That's best on the Bisons and 3rd in the entire Great American Conference. Neely ahead 0-2 though. Looking for the punch out. Reach back for a little extra there. Sacrifices accuracy for power and misses lone outside. Henderson State new pitcher, also new catcher. Alex Day replaces Corbin Sestinas behind home plate. 1-2. Another block in the dirt from Day, whose mask pops off. 2-2 now. No outs, bases empty as Butterfield leads off the top of the 5th for the Harding Bisons. Henderson State leads the ball game 8-3. 2-2. Low ball 3. So Neely, who went breaking ball, strike, breaking ball, strike, breaking ball, foul ball, who's ahead 0-2. Count has run full as Butterfield tries to get on base for the Bisons to lead off the top of the 5th, and does. Neely loses him. And Butterfield draws a walk. He's on base safely for the 2nd time after a double in the 3rd. Neely redshirt freshman out of Maryville, Louisiana. A righty pitcher, again making his first appearance for Henderson State here on a Wednesday evening, as Harrison Heffley digs in and takes first pitch in the turf. 1-0. Reddies expecting Heffley to pull. The 3rd baseman Argenbright has moved over to the first base side of second base. He plays essentially where Colasanto used to be at second. Colasanto in shallow right field is Neely misses again. 2-0. So Neely trying to refine the strike zone. Neely 3 straight strikes to start. Strike looking, foul ball. But now 6 straight balls from Neely as Heffley waits on the 2-0 and takes 3-0. Butterfield worked the leadoff walk for the Bisons in the top of the 5th. He leads off first. Butterfield has stolen 5 bases so far. 3-0 in the dirt. 8 straight balls for Neely. Butterfield walks to second. Heffley goes to first. And this outing for Lane Neely may be short-lived, as Reddies head coach Cody Hooten will head to the mound for a visit on the Henderson State Sports Network. So the Reddies head coach Cody Hooten, some words of wisdom for his pitcher Lane Neely, who is making his first appearance for the Reddies. He's walked the first two hitters he's seen. Butterfield leads off second. Heffley leads off first for Harding in the top of the fifth. Reddies in front, 8-3. Luke Vandover takes a breaking ball in the dirt, 1-0. So Neely again got ahead of the first batter he saw, Butterfield, 0-2. Now 9 straight pitches have missed the zone. Neely trying to reset things on a windy Wednesday evening here in Arkadelphia. 1-0. Chopper short to the shortstop. Myers has to charge. Has a little trouble getting it out of his glove, but he throws out Vandover at first by a step. If that ball was hit harder, Myers may have had a chance at 2, but having to charge, it was going to be impossible for the Reddies to work the double play. Neely happy to take at least 1 out. Both runners advance. Butterfield to third, Heffley to second. Cody Smith digs in. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. Nice pitch by Neely. Reddies in front, 8-3. Reddies got 2 in the first, 3 in the third, and the fourth. Harding has all 3 of their runs in the third, so both teams scoring 3 in the third inning. Neely. Long look in, 0-1. Breaking ball, looped, shallow right field, a long run for Colasanto. He can't make the play. It hits the right field concrete wall, and Smith has a double. Butterfield scores from third. Heffley has to stop at third. Heffley couldn't take off with no abandon. He had to wait to see if the Reddies would catch that ball. So an RBI double for Smith, who sent it to the Bermuda Triangle down the right field line. That ball landed about 18 inches left of the chalk as Harding makes this an 8-4 ball game, and Chris Witzke digs in. Witzke reaches out, sends the first pitch of his at-bat foul. Witzke has reached twice without getting the bat off the shoulders, walked in both the second and the third. He bats with runners on second and third, 1 out here in the top of the fifth. 0-1 from Neely. Neely saws off Witzke. Pop up, caught by Argenbright, the third baseman, as he ran down and made the play on the third base line, about 10 feet in front of the third base bag. So Neely gets a big second out here in the top of the fifth. And now Neely can focus all his attention to the batter, which is Zach Whitus. 2 outs here, so no opportunity for a sac fly or an RBI ground out. Reddies up 8-4, top of the fifth. Harding has scored 1 run so far in the inning as Neely misses with the breaking ball. Neely walked the first 2 batters he saw, then induced a ground out. Smith got a double to right field, a ball that had 2 eyes on it to find green grass just left of the right field line. And then Neely got Witzke to foul out to third. 1-0. 2-0. Good block by the freshman catcher Alex Day. Day, redshirt freshman from Ashdown. The Henderson State catcher right now. He replaced Corbin Sestinas, who started the day behind the plate for HSU. Corbin exited just to give Day a little opportunity to catch, no injury to Sestinas, no worry. Neely misses again. Count 3-0. First base is vacant. Second and third occupied. 2 out, 2 on here, top of the fifth. Reddies up 8-4 against the visiting Harding Bisons on a beautiful Wednesday evening. 3-0. Neely trying to start his fight back, and does. Fastball down Broadway. Whitus takes for a strike. Whitus getting his first start of the season this afternoon. Had played in 7 games and had been successful in a small sample size. 3 for 8 coming in. He's 0 for 2 so far. Off the bottom of the barrel. Foul ball rolls in between the legs of the catcher Day and the home plate umpire. So Neely, Henderson State's pitcher, has fought back from a 3-0 and run the count full. 3-2, 2 outs, 2 on, top of the fifth. Reddies trying to limit Harding to 1 run in the inning. Henderson State up 8-4. Here comes the payoff. Popped up. Day, the catcher, out of his catching crouch, runs to the netting behind home plate, but quickly realizes he is going to run out of room. So we'll reset and do it again. Another 3-2 to Whitus, who is looking for a big hit. Base hit to the outfield likely cuts the Reddies 8-4 lead in half, as both runners will be going on contact. Another 3-2. Breaking ball, strike 3. Lane Neely with a vicious payoff pitch to set down Whitus. He ends the top of the fifth. Harding gets 1, strands 2. Henderson State has scored 3 runs in each of the last 2 innings. They're looking to add more when we come back on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. Bottom of the fifth. Henderson State in front 8-4. Bryson Haskins leads off for HSU. Harding goes back to the bullpen. They've got their third pitcher, Zach Billick, taking the bump. Haskins' first pitch swing, fouls it off near the Harding dugout on the first baseline. Haskins was the leadoff man in the bottom of the fourth. He homered to left center field. And Danny Mitchell Jr. right behind him, homered to right. Haskins takes low, 1-1. Billick on the hill, replacing Brent Sutherland, who entered for Harding's starter Ross Shirey. Haskins waves and misses at the 1-1, now 1-2. Billick, so far this season, coming in, had worked 5 innings, given up 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 4 Ks. Billick making his 6th appearance, all of them out of the bullpen. 1-2 to Henderson State's center fielder and leadoff hitter Haskins. He takes a breaking ball, strike 3. Nice pitch from Billick. Haskins goes down looking on the 1-2. 4th time a Henderson State batter is struck out today, as Danny Mitchell Jr. comes to the plate. Mitchell Jr. has been swinging a much hotter bat since being moved to the top of the order, moved to the leadoff spot for Henderson State. He's 2 for 3 with a home run today. He takes low, ball 1. Reddies up 8-4. Bottom of the 5th, as the Reddies try to even the season series with Harding. Reddies lost 2 of 3 to the Bisons back on March 12th and 13th. Mitchell Jr. tried to check his swing, but it clearly went around on the outside fastball, 1-1. Reddies also trying to keep their 3-game winning streak going after they swept Southwestern Oklahoma State last weekend. Quick visit to the mound from the catcher Parrott. His pitcher Billick called him to the bump, maybe to discuss signs. The shortstop Kelly also joined the convention, but that is completed. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Nobody on base as Danny Mitchell Jr. bats for the 4th time for Henderson State. Bottom of the 5th, this is the first time the Reddies have not put the leadoff man on in an inning after Haskins went down looking on the 1-2 minutes ago. 1-1. Mitchell Jr. sucks in the stomach to avoid the breaking ball. 2-1. Mitchell Jr. now batting .254, that average climbing since moving into the leadoff spot. Mitchell Jr. 5 for 14. So it looks like Mitchell Jr. has found a home as he takes a strike to even the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes here. 1 out, nobody on for the Reddies, bottom of the 5th. 2-2. Breaking ball fought off by Mitchell Jr. Good pitch by Billick. Mitchell Jr. gets a piece and will do it again. Mitchell Jr. homered back in the 4th after Haskins sent one deep. Reddies went back-to-back for the first time this season. That was Haskins' 3rd homer of the year. That was Mitchell's 4th. Mitchell Jr. strikes out for the 2nd time, so Mitchell Jr. 2 for 4, 2 hits, 2 Ks. And Billick on the way to a strong bottom of the 5th inning. Henderson State has scored in the 1st, 3rd, and the 4th. They came up empty in the 2nd after Colasanto was stranded on second base following his leadoff single. Grayson Stevens trying to jumpstart HSU. In the bottom of the 5th, Reddies up 8-4. Stevens takes a breaking ball high and outside from Billick. Stevens 1 for 3 today. Reached on an error in the 4th. Singled in the 1st. Scored both times on the base paths as he takes a fastball outside. 2-0. Stevens, the junior out of Pottsville, Arkansas, had a great series against Southwestern Oklahoma State. Stevens went 2 for 4, 1 for 2, 2 for 4, combined 5 for 10, 2 runs, a walk, hit by pitch. 2-0. Lashed at, sent foul, out of play down the left field line. Stevens has 27 hits for the Reddies this season. That leads the team. Also second on the squad with 5 home runs and 17 RBI. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Stevens chases some high heat. Count evened up. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Reddies lead 8-4. In the bottom of the 5th, base is empty. Stevens trying to start a 2-out rally after Haskins and Mitchell Jr. struck out. 2-2. Taken low and outside. Count goes to 3-2 in full. Henderson State trying to send a hitter to the base paths in every inning so far. 3-2. Stevens sawed off, fouls it back. We'll do it again. Stevens, like I said, second on the team, 17 RBI. Stevens had 16 runs batted in the first 10 games. He's got just 1 run batted in the last 10. Stevens has multi-hit games in 10 of his 20 starts this season, and he's got another one. This kid just continues to rake. Spines little green grass through the left side of the infield. Harding was expecting Stevens to pull, and Stevens sends it to left center field on the ground. The Reddies have a 2-out base runner, as Stevens has a base knock. Joe Myers heating up with the bat in hand, fouled out to first in the first inning, and was hit by a pitch and scored in the 3rd, single through the left side in the 4th. Myers bats in the bottom of the 5th. Stevens leads off first, 2 outs. Myers checks a swing, strike regardless. Myers playing in his starting his 164th game. This is the 170th game that Myers has played. Myers putting together his best season in the red and gray. He has been phenomenal for Henderson State this season so far. Takes the 0-1 inside, 1-1. Myers also the reigning Great American Conference Player of the Week. Myers went a combined 6 for 9 against the SWOSU Bulldogs last weekend. 5 runs scored, 4 RBI, a double, triple, a homer. He stole a base. He was fantastic. 1-1. Breaking ball, taking top of the zone. Myers a little surprised by the call. He thought that was above the belt. He thought should have been made the count 2-1. Instead, it makes the count 1-2. Stevens leads off first base after his ground ball got through the left side. 2 outs. Reddies up 8-4, bottom of the 5th. Breaking ball. Dips low. 2-2. Myers comes into the midweek contest, leading the league in runs scored and RBI. 28 RBI, 28 runs scored. 2-2. Sent to short. Kelly crouches, collects, and throws to the covering Vandover at second base. Myers grounds in to the 6-4 fielder's choice to end the 5th. Henderson State comes up empty. We'll go to the 6th. Reddies up 8-4 on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. We're in the top of the 6th. Henderson State up 8-4 as the visitors, the Harding Bisons, lead things off with their 9-hole hitter, Brendan Parrott. Parrott takes a inside breaking ball, count 1-0 from Henderson State's Lane Neely. Neely gave up 1 earned run as he worked the 5th for the Reddies. Induces a swinging strike from Parrott, 1-1. Henderson State's starter was Trevor Gracie. He lasted 2 2/3, gave up 3 earned runs. Then Ethan Perry ended the 3rd, worked the 4th. Lane Neely is taking the 5th and now works here in the top of the 6th as Parrott takes the fastball at the knees, 1-2. He steps out now, back in. Parrott closed stance, front toe and closer to the plate than the back toe, and he is plunked. Parrott wears the 1-2 breaking ball as that got away from Lane Neely. That hit Parrott in the back. So Parrott continues a solid day at the plate. 1 for 2. He's reached twice. Parrott led off the top of the 3rd with a double, later scored, and he stands on first as Harding's lineup resets with Michael Chrisman digging in. Chrisman takes 1 low. Day, the catcher, keeps it in front, and Parrott stays at first. So Parrott was the 9 hitter. Parrott led off, was the leadoff man in every trip to the plate. He's done a good job of serving as a secondary leadoff hitter for the Harding Bisons. 1-0, hit hard. Colasanto makes a diving play, arranging to his left, and throws out Chrisman. Daniel Colasanto, the senior, flashing a little leather. He steals a base hit away from Chrisman as Parrott moves to second. So 1 on, 1 out now for the Bisons. Parrott goes to second after being hit by a pitch and getting moved over by the hard hit ball off the bat of Chrisman. Connor Kelly digs in, 1 for 3 with an RBI single in the 3rd. Reddies lead 8-4, top of the 6th. Neely a long look in. Comes to the plate. Nice pitch. Off speed, right at the knees of Kelly. Kelly entered the game batting .361. That was only good enough for 4th on the team. Harding, 5 guys batting over .350. 5 of the top 20 averages in the league belong to Harding hitters. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Kelly goes fishing as Day moved in front, or moved forward, I should say, to make sure he blocked that ball, and I think Kelly's bat got a little bit of a piece of Day. I thought initially the home plate umpire was going to award Kelly first base for catcher's interference, but that was not the case. Count 0-2. Neely looking for his second K and a big second out here in the top of the 6th as Parrott leads off second. Reddies doubling up the Bisons 8-4 on a beautiful Wednesday evening. 0-2. Strike 3. Lane Neely pulls the string, and Kelly does not have the answer. He goes down on an 0-2 for the second out of the inning. So Lane Neely again making his first appearance for the Reddies in the red and gray, and he's looked sharp. After some opening jitters, he walked back-to-back batters in the top of the 5th, but has settled down and settled in, looking to work around a leadoff hit by pitch as he pours in a fastball to David Butterfield. Butterfield was the first batter that Neely saw back in the 5th. Neely was ahead 0-2, walked Butterfield, as Butterfield came around to score later that inning. 0-1 to Butterfield, Harding's leading man in terms of average. He takes inside and low 1-1. Butterfield started his afternoon with a pop out to the first baseman, Stevens, then doubled in the 3rd, walked and scored in the 5th. Butterfield was absolutely sensational in the first portion of the season. He started the year batting up over 500, 24 of 43. But he can't drive the run home from second this time. He's retired at first. Lane Neely offers the leadoff man to get on base. Parrott hit by a pitch, but he's stranded at second. And the Reddies will go to the bottom of the 6th, up 8-4 on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. Henderson State bats in the bottom of the 6th. Reddies will lead it off with their right fielder and their cleanup man, Alec Lewis. So it'll be 4, 5, 6. Lewis, Argenbright, and Day due up here in the bottom of the 6th. Harding's got a new pitcher. This is Clay Burnett, making his 5th appearance, all out of the pen. Burnett 1-0 this season, has not allowed an earned run. Small sample size, 4 innings of work for Burnett this season. He starts Lewis with a ball inside near the toes of Henderson State's local lefty. Lewis went to high school 10 minutes away. Badger turned ready. 1-0 off the bat, 1-1. So Burnett has not allowed a run in 4 appearances, but he's seems to always be working in and out of trouble. He's allowed 4 hits and 3 walks, so he's done a great job this season of erasing runners from the base paths as he misses with a lively fastball outside. 2-1. Reddies doubling up the Bisons. 8-4. Bottom of the 6th. Lewis leads off. 1 for 3 with a run so far. 2-1. Popped up. This will drift just in front of the concrete wall in left field. The shortstop, Kelly, ran a country mile to try to make the play there. Luckily for Kelly, he slid to stop his momentum, and I think his cleats got a piece of the wall as the count goes to 2-2 here in the bottom of the 6th. Nobody out, nobody on for the Reddies. Alec Lewis leads things off. Lewis, a single and a run scored in the 3rd. Grounded out into a fielder's choice his last trip to the plate back in the 4th. 2-2. Inside, 3-2. Lewis, as I said before, going through a little bit of a slump, the first of his career, coming into the Wednesday contest, 1 for his last 17 after hitting .357 through the first 15 games of the season. 3-2. Lewis works the walk. Good plate discipline from Lewis, and Henderson State has their leadoff man on here in the bottom of the 6th. So the Reddies have gotten their leadoff hitter on the base paths in 5 of the 6 innings. Only time they did not was in the 5th when Bryson Haskins struck out looking. Caden Argenbright bats with Lewis on first. Nobody out. Reddies in front 8-4 on a Wednesday evening. First pitch taken for a strike. Fastball from Burnett. Burnett last pitched last Wednesday at Christian Brothers up in Memphis. He pitched 1 inning, gave up 1 hit a batter in Harding's 4-2 victory over the Buccaneers. 0-1 to the lefty hitter Argenbright. Gets a good piece of this one. Deep to right field. Witzke back, looking up. See ya!
That's a home run for Caden Argenbright.
Caden Argenbright just sent it off the scoreboard in right field. Send that kid the bill. It's a 10-4 game. Henderson State in front. The freshman Argenbright has his 2nd home run of the season. 2nd in the last 4 games. He went deep in the series opener against Southwestern Oklahoma State last Friday. That was a solo shot. That one was a 2-run dinger. And the Reddies lead 10-4. Argenbright again, 2nd homer of the year, 4th of his career. The freshman just continues to spray the ball all over the yard for the Reddies as Alex Day swings through. Strike 1. Day batting in the place of the starting catcher today, Corbin Sestinas, who Day replaced earlier. Sestinas not injured, no issue, just trying to get some different guys some work here in the midweek game. Alex Day, the redshirt freshman out of Ashdown, Arkansas, one of a couple Reddies from Ashdown. Day, Haskins, Austin Cross. Day takes outside, 2-1. Day last hit back on March 12th. He started, went 0 for 3 at Harding in the first game of the 3-game set up in Searcy. As Day pokes it to right field, hit well, but a nice play by the right fielder Witzke, who flipped the hips and made a running catch. He hauls it in just in front of the warning track. Day with a good piece, but retired for the first out of the bottom of the 6th. The Reddies lead is 6, 10-4. Henderson State in front. The Reddies have put 4 crooked numbers on the board, 2 in the first, 3 in the third, 3 in the fourth, 2 so far in the sixth. As this is Matthew Baker. Daniel Colasanto waits on deck. Matthew Baker takes an outside fastball for a strike. 0-1 to Baker. That's a little further outside. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bases cleared. Reddies already 2 in the inning after the Argon Bright homer brought home Lewis. Baker fouls it straight back. 1-2. Reddies 10 runs on 12 hits, 1 error. Harding 4 runs on 5 hits, 2 errors. Baker just 1 for 3. This is his 4th plate appearance. Baker reaches out, looping liner, drops in front of the left fielder Chrisman, and it's going to get by and roll to the warning track. Baker round second. He'll take third standing up, and the Reddies have a base runner 90 feet away here in the bottom of the 6th with 1 out. We'll see how they score that. Surely a single. And Baker advances to third on an error by the left fielder Chrisman. So good job by Baker to keep trucking around first. Baker, with his 6'2 frame, runs well, and now Daniel Colasanto, RBI opportunity. With Baker on third, 1 out, bottom of the 6th. 10-4, Reddies in front. Colasanto takes at the top of the zone. Strike 1. Colasanto waits on the 0-1 from Harding's pitcher Clay Burnett. 1-1 now the count. Burnett had been playing with fire in his 4 previous appearances and gave up his first earned runs of the season a couple minutes ago as Caden Argenbright went deep with a 2-run homer earlier in the 6th. Colasanto takes the 1-1 low, 2-1, and helps Matthew Baker out at third, telling him to stay there as the catcher Parrott kept it in front. Colasanto, 15 RBI so far this season. That's third on the team coming in, looking for RBI 16 as Baker leads off third with 1 out. 2-1. Colasanto takes inside 3-1. Harding's infield. Playing a little bit in. I wouldn't say fully in. The shortstop about 10 feet in front of where he normally would be as Colasanto lifts this to center. Smith ranges to his left, makes the play. Baker tags at third and comes home to score. So Colasanto has a sacrifice fly and his 16th RBI of the season. Henderson State clears the base paths, and the Reddies have their third 3-run inning as the game goes to 11-4 now in the bottom of the 6th. The Reddies dominating the Bisons here on a Wednesday evening. First pitch to Bryson Haskins. That runs in and plunks Haskins on the shoulder. Haskins had no chance of getting out of the way, and the Reddies have a 2-out base runner as Haskins reaches safely for the second time. Haskins sacked bunt in the 2nd, homer in the 4th, struck out looking in the 5th. As Henderson State's order resets with Danny Mitchell Jr. Mitchell Jr. 2 for 4 today. He's been feast or famine. Single and a run scored in the 1st, solo homer in the 4th, but has struck out in the 2nd and the 5th. Mitchell Jr. takes a strike inside half of the knees. 0-1 to Mitchell Jr. Haskins leads off first. Haskins, a threat to steal, runs well as Henderson State's center fielder. Reddies up 11-4. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Mitchell Jr. sends it high in the air. Shallow center field. Coming on is Smith. Lost his cap, but makes the play for the third out of the 6th inning. Henderson State gets 3 more. They lead 11-4. We'll go to the 7th. You're listening to Reddies Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clyde Berry Field here on the campus of Henderson State University. Reddies lead the Harding Bisons 11-4 as we start the top of the 7th inning. Bisons lead it off with Harrison Heffley, who takes outside 1-0. Lane Neely stays on the bump for the Reddies. Neely in his 3rd inning of work. He's gone 2+ now. 1 hit, 1 run. It was earned. 2 walks, 2 Ks. 1-0. 1-1. Heffley sends it down the first base line. Chased down in foul territory by members of the Bison's bullpen. Henderson State has the shift on. 3 infielders to the first base side of second base. Neely misses outside. 2-1. Myers at short in regular positioning. Caden Argenbright, who's usually playing third, is essentially playing second base where Daniel Colasanto used to be. Daniel Colasanto is in shallow right field as Heffley beats the shift. Argenbright made a diving attempt, caromed off his glove, and headed into right field. One quick note, just noticed, Daniel Colasanto has been replaced at second base by Logan Cowart. So Cowart, a defensive substitution for the Reddies here in the top of the 7th as Heffley has a leadoff base knock for the Bisons. Luke Vandover digs in, takes a strike outside edge. Henderson State has thrown 3 pitchers tonight. Trevor Gracie started, went 2 2/3. Then Ethan Perry went 1 1/3. Lane Neely, 2+ innings right now. He deals to Luke Vandover with Heffley on first base. Nobody out. Top of the 7th. Reddies in front 8-4. Daly picks off Heffley. Throw down to second. Gets into center field. The Reddies cannot take advantage. Heffley got too far off of first base. Day made a snap throw to first. Heffley went to second. He knew he had no chance to get back to the bag. Stevens had plenty of time to make the throw to second, but short-hopped his infield colleagues. It went into left field, and Heffley safe at second. Still nobody out here in the top of the 7th as Vandover waits on the 1-1. Breaking ball inside, 2-1. Neely working his very first innings for Henderson State, the freshman out of Maryville, Louisiana. He walked the first 2 batters he saw. One of those walks turned into a run, but after that, Neely's been darn good. That's low. 2-1, now 3-1. Activity in the Henderson State bullpen. Reddies have a couple of arms warming up out there. Blake Patterson, one of them. I believe John Youngblood may be the other. 3-1 hitters count to Vandover. Neely twirls, but no throw to second. Vandover 0 for 3 today. Reached on an error back in the second. Trying to get things going with Heffley leading off second, nobody out, top of the 7th. And Vandover walks on 5 pitches. That is the 3rd free pass that Lane Neely has offered, and the Bisons start the top of the 7th with 2 base runners. Heffley at second, Vandover now at first, as Alex Day heads to the mound to check on Lane Neely. Got to imagine we're getting to the end of Neely's rope here, with Henderson State having plenty of options in the bullpen, and Neely also already working 2+ innings. 2 on, nobody out for the Bisons. Top of the 7th. Reddies up 11-4. Cody Smith, Harding's 6th hitter, takes low, 1-0. Smith batting 6th, playing center for the Bisons. Smith comes into this one batting .318. He's 1 for 2 with a walk today. 1-0. 2-0. Day keeps it in front with a butterfly block. 2-0. 2 on. Still nobody out. Top of the 7th. Smith, like I said, batting .318 coming in. Leads the Bisons with 3 triples. Tied for second on the team with half a dozen doubles. Neely steps off, trying to fight out of a 2-0 hitter's count to Cody Smith, who bats right-handed. Crouch stance, open stance for Smith. Heffley on second, Vandover on first. 2-0, 2-1. Smith fouls it off his lower body. Smith struck out looking in the second, walked, and was stranded at second in the third, doubled, brought home a run in the 5th. Two 2-1. Foul tipped into the glove of Day. Count evened up 2-2. Neely looking for a massive first out here in the top of the 7th. 2 on for the Bisons. Heffley at second. Vandover at first. Neely looking for the punch out or looking to roll a ground ball. 2-2. Off the end of the bat into shallow right field. This is going to get down for a base hit. Everybody moves up 90 feet. Smith has his second base knock. Second time Smith has gone opposite field and just sent a dying quail into right. And second time he has been rewarded. Bases loaded. Heffley and Vandover couldn't go on contact. They had to make sure that no red jersey was going to park themselves underneath that ball, and Lane Neely is going to get a visit from his head coach, Cody Hooten. The bases are loaded for the Bisons in the top of the 7th, and we may very well have a new pitcher when we come back on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. Bases loaded for the Bison's, top of the 7th. Henderson State turns to their bullpen as Henry Coppins takes over for Lane Neely. Neely responsible for all 3 base runners. Coppins will face Chris Witzke and fire a strike outside corner, 0-1. Harding looking to put together a big inning to make this a ball game again. Reddies up 11-4, but again, the Bisons have the bases loaded, top of the 7th. 0-1. Witzke jammed, fouls it off and out of play. Quickly 0-2. So again, Heffley on third, Vandover on second, and Smith on first. All the responsibility of Lane Neely, who made his first appearance for Henderson State today. 0-2. Strike 3. Witzke can't believe the call. He thought that was outside. But a 3-pitch strikeout for Coppins. Witzke goes down looking and gets a big first out. We'll have a pitch hitter for the Bisons. Owen Martin, number 6, slides into the DH spot, batting in place of Zach Whitus. Martin now playing in his 10th game. He started 4 of them. 7 hits and 20 at-bats, .350 average. Big spot for Martin. Bases loaded, 1 out, top of the 7th. Swing and a miss. Coppins induces the swinging strike with a fastball. 4 straight strikes from Coppins, who has come out of the bullpen and taken over with the bases loaded. With 1 out in the top of the 7th. Oh, excuse me, the out that the Reddies have gotten in this inning was taken care of by Coppins, who struck out Witzke on 3 pitches, and now he's ahead of Martin. 0-2. Reddies up 11-4, top of the 7th. Again, bases loaded for Harding. Heffley on third, Vandover on second, Smith on first. Coppins, a right-hander, comes to the plate. 0-2. Breaking ball stays above the belt. 1-2 as Martin, the designated hitter, and the pinch hitter takes. Coppins, 5'10", freshman from Little Rock, Arkansas. Coppins, a lefty pitcher. 1-2 from the freshman. Swing and a miss. Coppins reaches back for a little extra mustard. And Martin could not catch up. Back-to-back strikeouts for Henry Coppins. He has entered the game and looked razor sharp for the Reddies, trying to strand 3 Bison's base runners. The catcher Brendan Parrott digs in. Bases juiced for the Bisons, who trail 11-7. This one gets away from Day, but Heffley didn't come home from third. Day got a little bit of a piece of it and then stumbled out of the blocks trying to chase it down behind home plate, but Heffley didn't like his chances and stays put at third. So a good job by Day just to get a piece of that and scramble to it to keep Harding off the board in the bottom of the 7th. Obviously the threat remains as Parrott bats with the bases loaded. 2 outs in the inning so far. Coppins gets Parrott to foul it off down the right field line, out of play. Parrott 1 for 2 today. This is the first time Parrott digs in when he has not been the leadoff batter in the inning. Led off the 3rd and the 4th and the 6th. One from Coppins. Fastball gets over the head of Day. and runs to the backstop, but again, Heffley stays put at third. Everybody remains where they are, and that would have been a very close play because that was a fastball from Day and got over the head of, fastball from Coppins. The pitcher got over the head of the catcher Day, but hit the backstop, and Day was ready to use it as the backboard. That would have been a really close play if Heffley had tried to come home from third. Instead, it's just a ball. It's 2-1 from Coppins now. This is launched to center field. Haskins on the move. That caroms off the wall. 3 runs will score as Myers' relay throw is late. Day saying that he tagged out the base runner Smith, who came around from first, but that's a bases clearing double from Brendan Parrott. And it's an 11-7 ball game in the top of the 7th. All those runs charged to Lane Neely. So Coppins was so close to getting out of a bases loaded jam unscathed. Instead, it's 3 runs for the Bisons as Parrott has his second double of the day. Chrisman digs in for Harding in a 4-run ball game. First pitch to Chrisman. This gets away from Day, and finally a wild pitch advances a runner for the Bisons. Day couldn't keep that one in front, and Parrott goes to third. So Chrisman got out of the way. 1-0. Runner on third for the Bisons. 2 outs on the top of the 7th. Reddies up 11-7. That's high and inside. 2-0. Coppins responsible for Parrott on third after entering with the bases loaded. 2-0. That's chest high. 3-0. Coppins struck out the first 2 batters he saw and gave up a double to Parrott. 3-0 to Chrisman. Right down Broadway, strike 1. (3-1) from the lefty Coppins, trying to get out of the inning. Hitters count. This will hook foul, as Chrisman was just a little bit out in front of it and got a little bit too much of the ball down the hands. Count goes to 3-2. Here it comes from Coppins. Breaking ball, strike 3. Coppins strikes out Chrisman with a backwards K and gets a round of applause from his dugout. Harding scores 3, though, and we've got a little bit more of a ball game here as we go to the bottom of the 7th. 11-7 Henderson State in front on the Reddies Radio Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. Henderson State leads this ball game 11-7 as Grayson Stevens leads off the bottom of the 7th for the Reddies. HSU in front of the visiting Harding Bisons 11-7. Grayson Stevens already 2 hits so far today, looking for hit number 3. First pitch to Stevens taken for a ball. Harding's got a new pitcher on the hill. This is Joey Lawhorn. Lawhorn, a righty, junior out of Harrison, Ohio. Transferred into Harding from Bluffton University. Missed outside with a 1-0. Now 2-0. Hitters count to Stevens. Set shallow center. Again, Smith, the center fielder's hat comes off as he sprints in to make the play. Stevens 2 for 5. Stevens has a multi-hit game in 11 of the 21 Henderson State contests this season now, but he still does not have a 3-hit game. So Stevens usually caps out at 2 hits, but Stevens 2 for 5. He's got 2 hits now in 5 of Henderson State's last 6 games. Just has been a hitter from the moment he stepped on campus at HSU as Joe Myers digs in, swings to the first pitch, and tags it to center. Smith ranges back and makes a crouching catch out there in the sun. Tough play for Smith. Myers flies out. Quickly 2 outs in the back pocket of the reliever Lawhorn in the bottom of the 7th. Reddies up 11-7 as Alec Lewis takes his turn. Harding got 3 runs to make this a ball game in the top half of this inning. Reddies led 11-4. It looked like they were on their way to a pretty simple victory, but this game's certainly not over yet. Harding looking to come back. The Reddies looking to add some insurance as Alec Lewis tries to start things with 2 outs and the bases empty in the bottom of the 7th. 0-1 from Lawhorn after he fires in the fastball outside corner for a strike. 0-1 to Lewis. 1-1. Lawhorn, the 5th Harding pitcher. Shirey started. Then it went Sutherland, Bilek, Burnett, and now Lawhorn has worked 2 outs so far in the bottom of the 7th. 1-1. Outside 2-1. And Lawhorn, he's been great. He's Harding's 2nd best reliever. Their best reliever, Ryder Yakel, might be the best reliever in the conference. Yakel, 3rd in ERA, 1st in opposing batting average, 1st in hits allowed in conference play. 2-1 from Lawhorn. Now 3-1, skips away from the catcher Parrott, but no issue as the base paths are empty for the Reddies here in the bottom of the 7th. Lawhorn, like I said, right behind Yakel in terms of options out of the bullpen. Lawhorn, 2.84 ERA. This is his 8th appearance. He's worked 12 2/3 of work so far this season. 3-1 to Lewis. Line drive. Lawhorn knocks it down with a glove, chases it down, and flips to first. Lawhorn works a 1-2-3 bottom of the 7th. Henderson State leads 11-7. We'll go to the 8th. You're listening to Reddies Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. We go to the top of the 8th. Henderson State up 11-7. Reddies will send Blake Patterson to the bump in relief. Patterson becoming Henderson State's 5th pitcher today. It's been Gracie, Perry, Neely, Coppins, and now Patterson, who will face Harding's 2-3-4 in the top of the 8th. Kelly, Butterfield, Heffley due up. Reddies in front 11-7. Patterson, this is outside 1-0. Kelly 1 for 4 with an RBI single in the 3rd. Now 2-0 as Patterson misses with the fastball at the shins. Patterson, the 6-foot senior out of Benton, Arkansas. 2-0. Pounded to the right center field gap. Long run. And this ball is gone. Connor Kelly goes yard to lead off the top of the 8th, and we got a 3-run game. So Patterson, who's been a little feast or famine this year, off to a rocky start in his outing. Patterson, last outing was last Tuesday against Arkansas Tech. That was his best outing of the season, but he's run into some trouble so far this year as he misses outside to David Butterfield. Patterson on March 6th threw 2 innings against Arkansas Monticello, gave up 4 earned runs. Then on March 16th threw 1 1/3 to Ouachita Baptist and gave up 2 runs. So Patterson has really had his stuff working or not had it going. Kind of been one way or the other for Patterson, who's behind 2-0 to Harding's David Butterfield. Butterfield fouls it back 2-1. The Reddies really need Blake Patterson to be at his best down the stretch of this season into postseason play if Henderson State wants to get where they want to go this year. Patterson has been the Reddies' bullpen ace for much of his time in Arkadelphia as he gets Butterfield to ground to Joe Myers, the shortstop, who makes a simple play, 6-3, to retire Butterfield. Patterson comes into the Wednesday outing with a career 3.56 ERA. This season, though, his ERA at 6.00. So Patterson looking to bring that down as Heffley digs in and takes a off-speed pitch for a strike. Henderson State expecting the pull. Heffley beat the shift, singled into right center in the 7th. This is lifted to center and carrying. Haskins back to the warning track and makes the play. Heffley gives it a ride, but just didn't get enough on it to give Haskins any real trouble. The center fielder makes the play and collects the second out of the top of the 8th. Henderson State up 3 runs, 11-8. So after Patterson gives up the leadoff homer to Kelly, he responds with 2 quick outs off the bats of Butterfield and Heffley. Now we'll try to retire Luke Vandover, who's working on a 0 for 3 day. Takes in the turf 1-0. Vandover still trying to get it going this season. Came into the Wednesday affair batting just .219. He's 0 for 3 today as he takes a ball, 2-0 now. Vandover led Harding with a .318 average in 2020, so this kid can hit. It's just not been his half of the year so far. 2-0. 2-1. Patterson gets the strike call with a breaking ball. Patterson's hat came off. Picks it up. Puts it where it needs to go. Patterson working quickly. Here comes the 2-1. Another breaking ball, and Vandover hits it hard left center field. Off the bottom of the wall, Vandover takes the turn and will roll into second. And he salvages his day. He's 1 for 4. And Harding's got a 2-out base runner in scoring position as Cody Smith takes his turn. So 2 hits given up by Patterson in the top of the 8th so far, both for extra bases. Kelly homered. Vandover doubles into the left center field gap. Cody Smith digs in to try to make this a 2-run game. Reddies up 11-8. Top of the 8th. Vandover leads off second. 2 outs. First pitch to Smith. Breaking ball. Nice pitch by Patterson. Strike 1. Patterson, the right-hander from Benton, Arkansas. Long look into his freshman catcher, Alex Day. Comes set, comes to the plate. Another breaking ball. Same spot, same result. 0-2. Smith has had a good day at the plate. 2 for 3. He's scored a run. He's driven in a run. He's walked. But he's also struck out looking. That was back in the second. Patterson, another long look in as Smith calls for time. The Reddies up 11-8, top of the 8th, trying to tie the season series against Harding this year. Harding won 2 of 3 against Henderson State back on March 12th and 13th. 0-2. Upstairs, 1-2. Smith, one of 3 Bison's batters with a multi-hit game today. Kelly 2 for 5, Smith 2 for 3, Parrott 2 for 3. Patterson looking for the strikeout. Won't get it. That's low. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Vandover on second after the 2-out double to the left center field wall. Harding trying to come back at Clydeberry Field. Reddies led this one 11-4. It's now 11-8 in the top of the 8th. 2-2. Stung into center field, and this will score a run. It's going to run by Bryson Haskins. It gets away from the Reddies center fielder. Taking the turn at second and heading to third is Smith. We got a 2-run ball game, 11-9 in the top of the 8th. Harding has roughed up Patterson. 3 extra base hits for the Bisons. Homer, couple of outs, but then double-double with 2 outs for the Bisons in the 8th. Harding has scored the game's last 5 runs. Chris Witzke digs in. Swings and misses. Witzke, one of the few Harding hitters still looking for his first base knock. He's walked twice. Again, Patterson way ahead 0-2. He was way ahead on Smith ahead 0-2, but Smith tripled into right center field, brought home Vandover to make it 11-9. Patterson trying to keep it a 2-run game. 0-2. Strike 3. Day collects it in the dirt and throws out Witzke at first. Harding, though, gets 2, and they cut the lead in half. They trailed 11-7 entering the top of the 8th. Now it's 11-9. Henderson State will look for insurance when we come back on the Henderson State Sports Network.
Batting the third baseman, number 6, Caden Argenbright.
Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. The Reddies bat in the bottom of the 7th as Caden Argenbright leads it off against Harding's new pitcher. This is Dylan Adcock, righty thrower out of Texarkana, Arkansas. Adcock starts Argenbright with a fastball strike outside corner. Argenbright has been absolutely sensational at the dish today. 3 for 3 with a walk, homer in the 6th. Also brought home Alec Lewis, who was on first at the time. Argenbright fouls it off the 0-1, now 0-2. Argenbright's average has gone from 342 today up to 367. Argenbright waits on the 0-2. Just gets a piece, fouls it back. Count stays the same. We'll do the 0-2 one more time. Right now, Argenbright's home run to make this 11-4. That's the game-winning hit. If not for that home run, the Reddies have 9 runs, and it's 9-9. Henderson State led this game 11-4. Now it's 11-9, bottom of the 8th. 0-2 to Argenbright. Outside, 1-2. Adcock, Harding's 6th pitcher today. 9.82 ERA and 7.1 innings pitched. This is his 5th appearance. 1-2, backdoor breaking ball, stays outside. The catcher, Parrott, tried to frame it, but did not get the call. Two to Argenbright. Argenbright looking to stay perfect at the plate. 3 for 3 so far. Off the end of the bat, foul. Argenbright's home run in the 6th was his 2nd of the year, 2nd in the last 4 games for Argenbright. He homered in the first game of last weekend's 3-game set against Southwestern Oklahoma State. Also Argenbright's 4th home run of his career. 2-2. Right side and foul. Argenbright stays alive. Great at-bat as usual from the freshman out of Sulphur Springs, Texas. Argenbright has come to Arkadelphia and done nothing but hit the baseball. 348 career average coming in. 342 this season. Obviously both those numbers up today after the 3 for 3 outing. Argenbright trying to work his way on to lead off the bottom of the 8th. 2-2. And Argenbright fouls it off again. Good at-bat from Argenbright, especially against a new pitcher for Harding. Argenbright's allowing his teammates to see a lot of pitches out of the right hand of Dylan Adcock. 2-2. And we'll do it again. Argenbright came into this game leading the Reddies with a 342 average. Had the team lead 8 doubles. Second on the team in hits with 26. Second on the team in on-base percentage, 398. Third on the team with 19 runs. And third on the team with 3 times being hit by a pitch. Long look in on the 2-2 from Adcock as Argenbright calls for time. Argenbright had his 8-game hitting streak snapped this past weekend against Southwestern Oklahoma State, so he's making up for it. 3 for 3 so far for Argenbright. 2-2. Argenbright. Deep shot, right center field. Gone! Caden Argenbright has his 2nd home run of the day, 3rd of the year, 5th of his career. Caden Argenbright, have a evening. What an outing for Caden Argenbright. 4 for 4, 2 homers. Henderson State gets a big bite of momentum and a big run to go up 12-9. One of the best at-bats of the year. Caden Argenbright goes yard on the 10th pitch of the at-bat. Alex Day digs in. Day Takes a fastball inside, 0-1. Argenbright was down 0-2 in that count. Fought off however many pitches. Got something he could handle, and he's got his second home run of the day, 5th of his career. Caden Argenbright, 4 for 4. He is your player of the game if Henderson State can wrap up the victory as Day waits on the 1-1. Day thought about it, kept the bat back after flipping the hips. 1-2 as Adcock gets the fastball called strike, outer half. Day lined out to the right fielder Witzke. Back in the 6th. He waves and misses, starts to run down to first, but Parrott, the catcher, shows the home plate umpire that he caught that ball, so no throw necessary. Day 0 for 2 as Adcock has one out here in the bottom of the 8th. Matthew Baker digs in, 1 for 2. Baker's single in the 6th ensured that every Henderson State starting hitter today had a base knock. Baker singled and went to third after it was fumbled in left field by Chrisman. 1-0 to Baker after Adcock misses outside. Now 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 1 run across for the Reddies in the 8th. Caden Argenbright, solo shot to right center field, his second dinger of the day, his 5th of his career. Baker takes inside. 2-1. Henderson State's line score 12-14-2. Harding's 9-11-3. It's been a wacky Wednesday evening here at Clydeberry, but Henderson State trying to put a bow on it. Up 12-9 in the bottom of the 8th. Inside now 3-1 to Baker. Baker grounded out to the first base to the pitcher in the 1st. Sac fly in the 3rd, walked in the 4th, singled and scored in the 6th. 3-1. 3-2. Baker fouls it off and out of play. Baker has shown he's capable, more than capable with the bat this season. Started the day 7 of 23, 304 average. That's up to 320 after the 1 for 2 outing. Baker trying to get on board. 3-2. Baker reaches out, slow roller. The third baseman, Butterfield, charges, and Baker out by an eyelash. Baker cannot believe the decision from the secondary umpire. Baker, a player who probably wears his emotions on his sleeve more than anybody else, couldn't believe he didn't beat that one out, as Butterfield just beats Baker for the second out of the bottom of the 8th. Base is empty. 2 outs. Reddies up 12-9. Logan Cowart digs in for Henderson State. Cowart takes a strike with a breaking ball right at the top of the zone. Cowart replaced Daniel Colasanto at second base as a defensive substitution. He bats for the first time in the 8th spot. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Cowart behind it. Henderson State up 12-9. Reddies got a solo home run earlier this inning from Caden Argenbright. 2nd of the day, 3rd of the season, 5th of his career. Argenbright giving the Reddies a little insurance in the later stages of the midweek contest. 0-2. Way outside. Parrott, the catcher, has to dive to his right to keep that in front, but no issue as the base paths are empty with 2 outs at the bottom of the 8th. Adcock trying to end the frame. Not this time. Misses high. Cowart does not chase the high heat. 2-2 now. Cowart mostly used as a defensive replacement this season went 0 for 3 in Game 2 last weekend, 0 for 1 in Game 3 as he swings through the 2-2. And the catcher Parrott gets it in the dirt and tags Cowart for the third out of the inning, but not after Caden Argenbright makes this a 3-run game. Reddies up 12-9. We'll go to the 9th on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. Henderson State trying to shut the door on Harding. Reddies up 12-9 as we go to the top of the 9th. Harding's got 3 outs to work with and 3 runs to get. They want to send this to the bottom of the 9th. Blake Patterson remains on the bump for HSU. This is with the fastball outside to Owen Martin, who bats in the DH spot. Martin was a pinch hitter in the 7th and struck out in the place of Zach Whitus. Takes back-to-back balls, 2-0. It's once again Blake Patterson's hat flies off. New catcher for Henderson State. Josh Aguilar used as a defensive replacement here in the top of the 9th. Henderson State has now had 3 guys catch it today. Corbin Sestina started. He turned it over to Alex Day. Now Josh Aguilar as Patterson misses again, 3-0. Patterson allowed 3 hits in the top of the 8th, all of them for extra bases. Harding scored 2 runs. 3-0. Fastball at the belt, 3-1. One to Martin. Fouled back, 3-2. In the top of the 8th, Patterson allowed a leadoff homer to Kelly. Butterfield and Heffley were retired. Then Vandover doubled, Smith tripled with 2 outs to make this an 11-9 game. Caden Argenbright made it a 3-run game with a home run in the bottom of the 8th. Outside, Patterson slams his hat on the pitcher's mound in frustration, upset that he walked the 8th hitter, Owen Martin, on a full count to start the top of the 9th. And Brendan Parrott has had it going for Harding this evening. Parrott came into the day batting .217 in 46 at-bats. He's 2 for 3 today. Parrott doubles, 3 RBI. First pitch to Parrott, runs inside, 1-0. Parrott's a double in the 7th. Cleared the bases. Bases were juiced. And Parrott made it an 11-7 game. It's now 12-9. Reddies in front, top of the 9th. 1-0 from Patterson, 1-1. Parrott swings through. Martin on first for the Bisons. He's stolen 2 bases this season in 2 attempts. Definitely a threat to steal 1-1. Popped up. Very shallow left field, just a foot out of the infield. Joe Myers, the shortstop, gathers under it and makes the play for out number 1. So a big out for Blake Patterson. Parrott pops up and out as Harding's order resets with Michael Chrisman. Chrisman bats 1 on and 1 out. Top of the 9th. Reddies up 12-9. Chrisman swings and sends it to right field. Butler, who replaced Alec Lewis in right, has no problem with it. Barely has to move. Just puts his glove up and collects it for the second out of the inning. Harding down to their final out. Reddies up 12-9. Top of the 9th. Connor Kelly was the first batter that Blake Patterson faced. Kelly went yard, solo shot. Patterson trying to flip the script and shut the door. Martin on first. 2 outs. Top of the 9th. Reddies in front 12-9. Reddies have 12 runs on 14 hits. Harding 9 runs on 11. Patterson, fastball, strike. Patterson, the senior, needs 1 more out to send Henderson State's winning streak to 4 games. Patterson misses with the fastball. Patterson might need a little bit of a smaller hat. Ball's off again as Patterson comes off the hill. 1-1. 1-2. Patterson gets the call, and again, the hat comes off. Harding down to their final strike. Reddies up 12-9. Top of the 9th. Martin leads off first. Patterson to the plate, 1-2. Just off the bat of Kelly. He stays alive by the skin of his teeth. And we'll do another 1-2 as he fouls it back by the Harding on deck circle behind home plate. Kelly 2 for 5. Pair of RBI. Another 1-2 from Patterson. Breaking ball. Taken low and outside, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Harding's Owen Martin leads off first. Worked a walk to start the top of the 9th. Parrott popped up to short. Chrisman flew out to right. 2-2. Shot. Second base. Cowart fields it at his head and steps on second for the 3rd and final out of the game.
Southern Arkansas in a single game at 6 o'clock on Friday and in a doubleheader at 2 o'clock on Saturday. We thank you for your attendance at tonight's game. Please travel home safely.
Henderson State takes care of business. The Reddies beat the Bisons 12-9 behind a fantastic hitting performance by Caden Argenbright, undoubtedly your player of the game. Argenbright 4 for 4. 2 home runs, 4 RBI, 3 runs scored, a walk. Argenbright reached on all 5 trips to the plate. Henderson State wins 12-9. They improve to 13-8 on the season. Harding falls to 12-7. This is a non-conference game between 2 conference opponents, so both teams will still enter the weekend 9-6. In GAC play. Henderson State will be back in action at Clyde Berry Field on Friday, April 2nd. So we will take a day off to observe April Fool's Day and be right back at it at 6 p.m. as the Reddies welcome in the Mule Riders of Southern Arkansas for a big 3-game weekend set. Again, first pitch at 6 p.m. on Friday night. The Reddies will then play 2 on Saturday against the Mule Riders. So we will see you then. This has been a presentation of Reddies Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network.